Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this brief video providing an overview of the Water and Sewer chapter for the 2026 update to the Massachusetts Rural Policy Plan. In this video, we will review the context regarding rural water and sewer challenges, recent progress made, and the draft recommendations in the plan. Your watching this video now will allow us to have meaningful discussion during our public engagement meetings for this chapter. When we convene our virtual statewide feedback meetings, the primary questions we will have for attendees are: does the summary of this chapter's challenges, successes, and achievements feel right and representative of your community? Which of the recommendations would make the biggest difference in your community? And what is missing? The goal of the Water and Sewer chapter in the 2026 Rural Policy Plan is to ensure rural communities have reliable, affordable drinking water and wastewater systems that support residents, enable appropriate housing and economic development, and protect environmental and public health in a changing climate. Despite clear needs and strong recommendations in the 2019 Rural Policy Plan, rural water and sewer conditions have seen limited improvement in most regions of Massachusetts. Progress has been constrained by local capacity limits, complex regulatory requirements, and the absence of new, dedicated state resources at the scale required to implement the recommended solutions. These challenges are particularly acute in small systems and in unserved towns that lack professional staff and have difficulty competing for funding, engineering support, and operator time. Rural communities continue to rely heavily on private wells and septic systems, which are expensive to build and upgrade, require suitable soils and topography, and can limit housing and small business development. In village centers and commercial clusters, business growth can trigger thresholds that convert private wells into public water supplies, yet the transition process remains time-consuming, opaque, and difficult to navigate for small owners with limited technical capacity. Small public water suppliers and districts face aging infrastructure, PFAS contamination risk, burdensome regulatory requirements, and serious workforce shortages, all within very small ratepayer bases that make it hard to raise the revenues needed for system replacement and resiliency investments. An untapped resource for rural central and western Massachusetts are the Wachusett and Quabbin reservoirs. The water from the Quabbin system is being relied on to fuel housing expansion in eastern Massachusetts, but currently provides little benefit to the municipalities that house and protect this rich water resource or to other communities west of the reservoirs. Since 2019, rural stakeholders and DEP staff have begun constructive conversations about practical adjustments to Title V, small public water supply regulation, and small-scale treatment plant permitting that could better support accessory dwelling units, shared systems, and village-scale development while maintaining public health protections. These discussions underscore that regulatory frameworks designed for higher density or larger systems can unintentionally create barriers in low-density rural settings, especially where demographics are aging and household sizes are shrinking. Rural water and sewer districts have also highlighted the importance of technical assistance, regional operator sharing, and streamlined guidance to help small communities implement innovative or alternative technologies and maintain compliance without overburdening volunteers and part-time staff. Some progress has been made in expanding training and support for small system operators, including a short-lived UMass program that provided rural-focused technical assistance before its funding ended. In addition, current rules allow one operator to cover multiple small systems within a 100-mile radius, but this distance can still be limiting in large, sparsely populated regions where a larger geographic radius would better reflect rural conditions. Water and sewer challenges intersect directly with climate resiliency, housing, economic development, and public health in rural areas. Without new, sustained investment and flexible, rural-appropriate regulatory tools, communities will struggle to replace leaking mains, address unaccounted-for water, respond to drought and contamination threats, and provide the infrastructure needed to support compact village development in the working lands economy. This chapter therefore renews the 2019 vision and identifies specific, achievable steps for DEP, partner agencies, and rural communities to work together on incremental but meaningful progress. The following recommendations are high level. Many of the recommendations in each chapter of the plan include sub-recommendations that speak to specific strategies and tactics regarding how the high-level recommendation could be implemented. We strongly encourage you to review the PDF of the full recommendations for this chapter at the same URL through which you accessed this video. The URL is also cited at the top of these slides. The recommendations are: 1. Create and sustain a dedicated rural water and sewer infrastructure program. 2. Advance rural appropriate reforms to Title V and on-site wastewater rules. 3. Support small public water systems and village centers. 4. Expand support for innovative and small-scale treatment technologies. 5. Before wide-scale expansion of the Massachusetts Water Resources Authority infrastructure to serve new areas of eastern Massachusetts, cautiously and prudently assess the long-term health, viability, and capacity of the Quabbin Reservoir to ensure it is protected and better serves all areas of Massachusetts. 6. Build rural technical assistance and operator capacity. 7. Strengthen governance and regional collaboration. And lastly, 8. Integrate water and sewer policy and action with housing, economic development, and climate resiliency initiatives. Again, when we convene our virtual statewide feedback meetings, the primary questions we will have for attendees are: does the summary of this chapter's challenges, successes, and achievements feel right and representative of your community? Which of the recommendations would make the biggest difference in your community? And what is missing? Thanks again for taking the time to review this chapter, and we look forward to speaking with you live soon. In the interim, if you have questions or concerns, please direct them to Mark Maloney, Communications Manager with the Franklin Regional Council of Governments. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Take care.